right, there, Latin 1. Here we go. The last one, exercise review 6F, Roman influence in the East, 168 BCE. Now, I strongly recommend you do all the review 6 because there's all kinds of good stuff in there for knowing your hikai kok, ile, ila, ilud, also knowing how to match number, case, and gender of things, as well as personal, reflexive, and possessive adjectives. Personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and conjugating verb forms. But I'm here to talk to you today about Roman influence in the East. So if you take a look at page 264, here we go. Once upon a time, when Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Publius Licinius were consuls of Rome, the citizens of the Alexandrinian citizens sought help from the Romans Antiochus, the king of Syria, was besieging the city Alexandria with a huge army. This king was proud, and because he was having in mind to increase his reign or to increase his power, he was wanting to conquer the Egyptians. The Romans gave favor to the Egyptians, but they were not able to send an army to Egypt. Now, it's very important to realize why. Egypt has a ton of grain, and the Romans need the grain. Also, rivers and stuff like that, and a gateway to the east. But very much so, it's about the grain. However, there was a certain senator with consular power, so he, like a former president, essentially, Gaius Popilius Linus, named Gaius Popilius Linus, who at that time, at that very moment, was making a journey into those parts anyway. Let's see. The Senate sent this senator to Egypt. The Roman Senate sent this senator to Egypt because because it was wanting to offer help to the Egyptians. Antiochus, when Popilius arrived, sent messengers to him being Popilius, he was wishing, he being Antiochus, to consult this senator. The king of Syria came to the meeting with, donning incredible clothing, with a huge crowd of soldiers, with a huge retinue of soldiers. Popilius came alone, wearing a toga praetexta with only 12 lictors, which, by the way, here we're getting into some serious old-timey tradition. Romulus borrowed the idea of the toga praetexta from the Etruscans. He also borrowed the idea of the lictors, which is basically 12 attendants. 12 is an important number in the ancient times. It's because they counted in base 12. They didn't count 5 fingers. They counted 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits, and 4 times 3 is 12. So that's why your hours of your clock have 12 hours. That's why there were 12 disciples. That's why there's 12 of these. That's why there were 12 gods. 12 is a really important number. But he shows up with them. I lost my place. There we go. He approached to the king and immediately said, "It is necessary for me to bring back your response, Antiochus, to the Senate." So notice he calls him by name too. What do you wish from the Romans? War or peace? So this is a king who's got his whole retinue and he's got his way of doing things, and this one guy shows up wearing a simple toga praetexta, walks up, he's only got his 12 lictors, he's like, I need to know, the Senate wants to know, Antiochus, what do you want, war or peace? Antiochus gaped and thought to himself, why does that Roman not fear me? He has no army, but he is not worried. He is neither worried nor upset. Antiochus himself indeed was worried and upset, and he responded therefore he responded to Popilius. It is necessary to consult about this thing or about the situation with my friends. Popilius was having in his hand a beating wand. Here I would say it's a rod, which all Roman legates were accustomed to bringing with them. With this rod, Popilius drew a small circle in the sand around the king of Syria. Before you leave this circle, from this circle, he said to the king, you will give me a response. Tonitus I'm sorry, I thought that was the guy's name for a second. Different part of Egypt, different time. Antiochus was astonished. He was very much fearing Popilius and the power of Rome, and the Roman power, or the Roman Empire. He said, I will do that which the Senate decrees. I will do that which the Roman Senate decrees. He returned to his soldiers and his army, and he led them back immediately to Syria. Such was this is a word that does not actually translate well, so we're going to say dignity or honor, but it's kind of like a higher regard, and the authority of this legate and of the Senate of Rome, and of the Roman Senate. So, not a single shot fired, just drew a circle around a guy and said, you're going to tell me what I need to know. And the guy up and left. So, that's the end of the story. I strongly recommend you do review 6G as well, just because we didn't get that much practice with fourths and fifths. And then you're done with the book. You're done. So, it matters much more to me that you get the skills that you need than anything else. So, do the exercises. I understand you need to do them at your own pace because you have a bunch of other classes and they might not recognize what home learning means, but I do, and I want you to do these exercises and send them to me so I can give you the feedback so we can have you ready for level 2, all right? It's been odd this year. I hope next year it will go a lot smoother because there's some really cool stuff that we missed out on this year. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to hit the button.